FA fam. It's been a minute, but we are back. Prop Talk is in the building. Hope you all have been doing well. Hope your 2022 is off to a great start. Tom is back. I am back. We are here to put some money in your pockets, kicking this new year off the only way we know how. Tom, without further ado, man, no more delays. We're a little bit late because we were crying because we were so happy to see each other. We had to collect ourselves. Let's get into it.
I just can't. Let's hear. Gary, you want to know if it's Yahoo bets? It's a lot of them. To tell you the truth, all the lines are going to be pretty close. So DK, FanDuel, that's what we normally use.
Does Yahoo have a sports book?
Yeah, they have a sports book.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. So we look at most of them. Most of the lines are similar. So if you see something that you have a question about, let us know. If not, most of the lines are going to be pretty similar. I'm going to start it off with Joe Burrow over 263.5. That's at minus 115. I also like Burrow over his touchdowns, which is 1.5. That's minus 165. So you know what? I like the same game parlay there. That's you take that down to 254.5. And then 2+ touchdowns, and you get plus 135 odds. So I'm going to be playing the yardage, and I'm also going to be playing same game parlay because the touchdown just doesn't pay enough. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And let's be honest, Smoking Joe is in fuego right now, Cody. He has 971 yards in his last 2 games. In his last four home games, he's had at least 300 yards. You want to bet against him? Be my guest. I'm not going to do it. He didn't really do great against the Raiders statistically earlier in the season, but the Bengals, had that game in hand a little bit, and they handed off to Mixon 30 times. They pulled ahead later in the game, so they didn't really need to throw late. So I just don't see that happening with the way Burrow's slinging it right now. I like the game to score a lot of points. Got the third highest over-under at 48. Raiders pass defense has been kind of like right in the middle of this, the pack all season. That's just what they're going to be doing. So I think Joe's going to keep it rolling this week. I think they win a playoff game for the first time since Boomer fucking Esiason, Cody. That was in 1991. Saved by the Bell was a good show. Dallas was a relevant franchise. Wrestling felt real to me. I'm pretty sure most of the people watching this hadn't even been conceived yet, Cody. That's right. If you feel attacked, I'm talking directly to you. Also, your mom and dad may not have had sex yet to conceive you. So that's pretty cool about that. Where were you the last time the Bengals won a playoff game, Cody?
You said 91?
91.
I was
41
conceived.
41 to 14, I believe.
I was conceived. I was 3 years old. Just little Code man.
Little Code was still shitting his pants. That's awesome.
Well, fast forward 30 years and nothing has changed. Do you have a feeling on, because I was looking at some of those props for the receivers. I don't have a good feel between Chase and Higgins. I have this gut feeling that it's going to be a Higgins game, but I have no. You know what I mean? I tried to see if maybe Casey Hayward stayed on one side of the field. He literally splits half of his snaps on the left side, half of his snaps on the right. It's I don't think he's necessarily going to shadow. Who do you shadow anyway? But I feel just gut feel. I think it might be a Higgins game, but I don't have any stats to back that up. It's literally just a gut feeling.
So Jabar Chase was bet up from 67.5. Now he's sitting at 72.5, I think. So Vegas likes him. People like him. The money is going to Chase. T. Higgins has kind of been flatlining as far as he's not moving anywhere. That line hasn't moved. None of the odds have, as far as what I've seen. He tweaked his foot earlier in the week, but I believe he's good to go. So that's not really an issue. But honestly, to tell you the truth, it could be both. It might be a week where I'm just you know what? I'm going to take them both because one of them is going to get it. and both of them could. So that might be my play there. But if I was going to say I had to take one, I would probably go Chase. Just because coming off that week last week, I mean, when he's feeling it and he's in that zone, I'm gonna go with him. But it's not like T. Higgins was a schlub last week, so whatever.
Yeah. And there really hasn't been too many instances of both of those guys going off either. Yeah, I mean, like
Right.
it's normally one or the other. Like the other one will have like 40 to 60-ish kind of yards, and the other one goes for $120 plus.
Yeah.
So
True.
I was just curious on that one. And speaking of, first of all, shout out to Walito. We are back, Bay coming through with the $10 hauler. I know the prop talk missed you, Walito. Going off of what you were just talking about, Tom, I'm going to go same team. I'm going to go with an under. I'm going to go Mixon under 19.5 rushing attempts. I don't have a strong feeling on his rushing yards. I think it's at 74.5, 75.5, somewhere there,
Right around there,
mid 70s. But for his rushing attempts, Mixon has only went over 19.5 4 times. 2 of those games were complete blowouts. One of which was against the Raiders, like you talked about earlier in the season, and then the following weeks when they just smacked the Steelers around, he had another 30, 28 carry game that following week. But I don't think that this is going to be similar. I think this game stays a little bit closer. That spread at 5.5. So I do like Mixon to go under 19.5 rushing attempts on that one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be closer than it was, but it was close until the fourth quarter, kind of in the last game. But I don't think they're gonna do that just because the way Burrow has been playing. There's no point in doing that at home when your quarterback is just gonna rack up yardage throwing the ball. So unless they want to slow the game down, which maybe they do, but I don't see that as being their offense, especially not the way they're playing at home. So yeah.
What do you got next?
Right. I'll save the other one we agree on for last. So I'm going to go with Deebo Samuel over 25.5 yards for his longest reception. Cody, did you know that it's Deebo season?
I was aware.
Okay.
I was aware.
The last 4 weeks he's had a catch of 30 yards or more in every single game. He's had a catch of 26 yards or more in 12 of 16 games, Cody.
Wow.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
I did not know that until I looked. Holy shit nuggets. That's disgusting. Also, the Cowboys have allowed 14 receptions of over 40 yards this year, which was third worst in the league. They're trash. Also, they've allowed 65 catches over 20 yards, which is tied for the fourth worst in the league. Trash. I know they like to give up big plays. It's nice. They have that awesome corner, though, in Trevon Diggs. A lot of interceptions. Don't worry about over the 1,000 yards, that he's given up to in coverage. That's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't look at that. Look at the shiny toy over here. Don't look at the yards. I'm going to look at the yards. Deebo is going to make him look stupid. Yes. Deebo is going to make him look stupid one play at least, and Dallas is going to pay for it. He's going to get all nice and deep black, Cody. You know what I mean? Just because he's nasty. So, I like Deebo longest reception over 25.5 points. 25.5 yards, sorry.
I thought whenever you said the 20 part first, you were going to go with rushing yards. And I was like, man, he got to 25. It's up to 29. But like he's hit that as well. He's been
right.
He, like you said, it's Deebo season, and I love to see it. I loved him coming out. The thing with him has always been health, and this year it's a good health year for Deebo, and he's doing Deebo things. I'm going to go back to that Cincy game one more time. I'm going to go on the over for my next one. I'm going Darren Waller over. You can get this at 59.5 on FanDuel, 60.5 on DraftKings. I like either one, but the Bengals have given up the 5th most yards to tight ends on the season. Waller already hit this against them earlier this year. He had 8 targets, I think, caught 7 for $116. And if you look at Waller in his first game back last week, the box score is disappointing. He only had 2 catches for 22 yards, but still saw 9 targets, played 78% of the snaps. And that, like I said, that was his first game back for several weeks. So I do like Waller here over his receiving yards. I don't know what I can look it up really quick. On FanDuel, his anytime touchdown is at plus 190. So I do like that there. Over on DK, it's plus 180. So similar numbers. Like I said, just a little bit better on FanDuel with the touchdown odds and the receiving yards. Take the yard whenever you can. Like I said, plus 50 or over 59.5 on FanDuel. But if you're playing on DraftKings, 60.5 is good over.
Yeah. So, like I said, I think it's going to be high scoring, and I think Darren Waller is probably healthy, ish, hopefully. So I think if he's healthy, he should be able to get that number this week.
Yeah.
So that being said, we're going to go with something we actually agree on. Rob Gronkowski over 58.5 yards. So early in the season, everybody was like, play your tight ends against the Eagles. They were horrible. And suddenly they just got much better late in the season against tight end. That being said, so did Gronk. Once he came back week 11, only had 2 games that he didn't have more than 58 receiving yards. Eagles tightened up their own defense, but the middle of the field is still their Achilles heel. They still play soft coverage and get killed underneath. The Eagles' vast improvement against tight ends, or, just in general, somewhat coincides with them playing absolute juggernauts at the quarterback position, like Taylor Henneke, Jake Fromm, Mike Glennon, Garrett Gilbert, Zach Wilson, Daniel Jones, Trevor Siemian, and can't forget about Teddy Bridgewater. That's their slate that's their slate the last 7 weeks. Last time the Eagles played a quarterback who wasn't meant to be a backup quarterback in the NFL was week 9 against Justin Herbert. And I think he went over 300 yards there. So I think Gronk hits that number, even if the Eagles defense is a big improvement the last time they played against Tampa Bay in week 6. Gronk over 58.5. Also, disclaimer, I do actually like the Eagles to keep it close. It's 8 or 8.5 points.
8.5 on FanDuel. I don't know what it is on DraftKings.
Okay. So it was 8 on, it may have changed back. So it was 8 on DraftKings when I looked maybe 15 minutes before the show. And then I looked on BetMGM and it was at 8.5. So it's fluctuating there. They got money going towards Tampa. But yeah, it's, I think Gronk still gets his no matter what, just because the middle of the field. So it's going to be open.
Yeah. Obviously no Godwin, no AB either.
Right.
Just to add on really quickly, Gronk only has 3 games this year with fewer than 8 targets. And obviously he missed some time, but still, and then over 100 receiving yards back-to-back games as well. So I do like that.
Plus his playoff time. Gronk's the blankie.
Yeah. It's and you can get over 5.5 receptions at plus money on FanDuel. I think on DK it's like at minus 105 or so, but on FanDuel you can get it like plus 106. I think for the over on the receptions. I do want to say if you're doing anything betting wise on that game, pay attention to the weather reports. It looks like it's going to be okay right now, but I guess that there is a chance that the rain that's going to be pushing through, if it comes later, it might be going on during the game, and they will still have sustained 15 to 20 mile per hour winds with gusts up to 30. And then the other thing to pay attention to as well is Leonard Fournette. If Fournette can't go, I think that bumps up Evans. Evans is sitting at 4.5 on his receptions. I like that a lot more if Fournette is out.
I think Fournette's going. I think he's full stop, ready to go.
I thought he was going to be as well, but then, unless it's just, the gamesmanship kind of thing. But
they're saying Ronald Jones probably, he's doubtful he's not going to play. And then they're playing the Leonard Fournette games and whatever. Yeah. Fournette's playing.
I think he does too. Just something to pay attention to. My last one is going to be Devin Singletary over 63.5 rushing yards. That line is better on DraftKings than it is over on FanDuel. Pats have given up, I think, top 10 in terms of most rushing yards allowed to running backs on the year. Singletary has been in control of that backfield for the past month. He has at least 19 carries in 3 of his last 4. And in those in those games where he has at least 19 carries, he has at least 86 rushing yards or more in those games as well. And on DraftKings, I didn't see what it was on FanDuel, but his rush attempts on DraftKings over 15.5 is sitting at plus 140 right now. So I think that is pretty interesting. So going up against, that it looks like it's going to be a tight game. I know when they recently played New England, I think Singletary, that was the one game out of the 3 of his last 4 where he didn't get to 19 carries, and he also didn't get above his rushing yards. But I think in this one, like I said, I don't have a great feel on this game, but obviously this team has been much more balanced the past month than it had during the beginning of the year with just having Josh Allen kind of sling it all over the place. And I think the strength of that Patriots defense lies in their secondary. So I do like Singletary, and especially if you want to take the over on his rushing attempts at, like I said, plus 140, I like that as well.
How do you feel about Josh Allen over 7.5 rushing attempts?
Feels pretty solid. It's sitting at minus 150.
Yeah, I think I like that one too. All right, so we did rushing yards and everything. I'm gonna top you with my rushing yard prop here. This is clearly he's fast, and if anybody calls him slow like Troy Aikman, he's just full of shit. Tom Brady over 1.5 rushing yards. He's done it 10 times this year. I said something about this. I forget which week it was, but I said to take this bet, and it hit. The Eagles have given up over 1.5 rushing yards to a quarterback 13 times this year. And Brady's done it 10 times, believe it or not. So, math, damn it. Math. I mean, the only thing that really takes into account is like if he has a bunch of kneel downs or something, that's always a scary one. But all he needs is that one like 9-yard gain or something like that. So I think they can get it. And unlike college, sacks don't count against rushing yards. College football, if you get sacked, it goes down as negative rushing yards, Cody?
I did not.
Yes, it does. My buddy was going ballistic because Stetson, he had a bet for over 13.5 rushing yards or something, and he had a 14-yard rush in the first quarter, and then he gets sacked with a 14-yard loss, and then he went back to 0 yards. And then all of a sudden he's like, I got to do some research. What's going on? And he's like, yeah, so in college, a sack counts as negative rushing yards. And in the pros, it does not. It's more arbitrary, whereas, okay, he's broke out of the pocket. Now that's a rush instead of a sack, a.k.a. TJ Watted. Do you have any more?
The only other one that two more, Amari Cooper over 4.5 receptions. The greasy, the squeaky wheel got greased. 25 targets over his last 3 games. San Fran's secondary has been up and down, but they can definitely be had. They've given up the 10th most receiving yards to wide receivers on the year. So I do like that game as a sneaky shootout. So I like Amari over his receptions. And then Patty Fry over 30.5 on DK. That line is better on DK than it is over on FanDuel. KC has allowed tight ends to pass that over 8 times this year. Spread of 12.5 in this game, so the Steelers should be forced to throw. I don't think Juju is going to play that big of a factor in this one. I know everyone's talking about him coming back and having the chance to play this weekend, but the dude hasn't practiced or been on the field for 3 months up until Thursday, and he just doesn't strike me as like a workout warrior type, where he's been doing everything he can to stay in shape and as close to football shape as possible. So I really don't know what the ceiling is in terms of him for his usage and his targets. So I think Patty Fry can still get his. Like I said, at 30.5 on DK, that line is low enough that I like that one as well. What about you?
As far as props, I'm probably going to dig in a lot more after the show. However, I have a nice little teaser So the Eagles at getting bumped up to 14.5. Bengals Raiders game over, that goes down to 42. And then the Cardinals plus 10. And I have something in for the Eagles and the Cardinals both to win outright. Little parlay there.
Ooh.
I mean, honestly, I actually don't hate the matchup for the Eagles at all, and I hate the Eagles. So, you know me. Yep, that's a bunch of Eagles stuff you see back there. I don't. Just Howie Roseman, hate him.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at a teaser as well. I was going to take the Pats up to 10.5, and then I was going to take the Bucks down to 2.5.
I feel like the Eagles. So I don't think the Eagles are going to get blown out. So 2 touchdowns.
No, neither do I. Taking them down to like a field goal.
I don't know.
I think the Bucks cover a field goal.
Maybe not. Maybe the Eagles win.
Why do you do this to yourself?
I don't. So here's the thing, though. Here's the crazy part. I don't really want them to win. I want them to go play well and lose a close game, like you're saying, because I want the 19th pick in the draft. I would much rather have the higher draft pick because they're just going to get bounced next round anyway.
Or maybe it could be another magical run, Tom.
Oh, magic.
How do you feel about our guy Gary here with a CD Lamb over?
Yeah, I believe that's at 63.5, and I was looking at that. I'm pretty sure I like that. I didn't dig into all the stats with San Fran secondary and everything, but that's the one I was on the fence about. If Gary wants to ask us off the air, probably in an hour or two or whatever, I'll probably have a better answer for him because that was one of the ones I was going to dig into. But I am 90% sure I like that one. Have you looked at any like the wild card specials as far as like who has the most passing yards, rushing yards over the weekend and stuff like that?
I have not. I was just going to say real quick on CeeDee Lamb, he's actually only hit that over once in his last 5 games.
It's been really slow the last couple games, so that's a little scary. But if you look at some of these wild card specials, so you have Dak favored to get the most passing yards out of anybody, followed by Mahomes, Brady, Stafford, and then Burrow. And Burrow is sitting at plus 750, and Kyler's at plus 1,000. I really like those 2 as value bets. Just to put a little bit, you don't have to put a lot down, but I like those 2. Rushing. Did you get to look at this? Elijah Mitchell is favored to have the most rushing yards this weekend. You believe that one?
His was it. I didn't realize it in comparison to the others, but it's sitting at 79.5, and like I kind of wanted to take the under, but I think there's only been 3 games, I think, and again, he's someone else who's obviously missed time, but I think there's only been like 3 or 4 games where he hasn't hit that this year. Elijah Mitchell has been really good. Well,
if you think about the running backs that are playing this week, you have Najee, who they could be getting blown out.
Now that you're saying, I do like Darrell Williams over his rushing.
Okay, so then that's a good one because Darrell Williams is sitting at plus 1,800. If you want to take somebody to just roll, Mixon is 3rd at plus 750. He's tied with Najee though, but the problem with Najee is that game script where if that game gets out of hand, they're screwed. Cincinnati, I think they're going to throw, but if he gets the ball 25 times like he did again, you took the under, so that's the kiss of death. So they're going to give him. Thanks a lot for the Burrow one. Singletary and Jacobs are actually tied for 4th. I'm sorry, Singletary, Jacobs, and Zeke are tied for 4th at plus 1,200. So it's funny if you look at it, we don't have a whole lot of running backs that are just tearing up. So there's no clear favorite at all here. And then receiving, this is where it gets funny. Cooper Kupp is favored at plus 380. Then next, you have a 4-way tie between Tyreek, Jamar, Kelsey, and Evans at plus 1,500 apiece. How does that happen? 380 to plus 1,500? Good Lord.
Wow.
How
How do
nuts?
you feel about this one? This one is on FanDuel. I'm looking at these now that you brought him up. Elijah Mitchell to score a touchdown, one or more touchdowns,
Like
and
it.
Micah Parsons to record one or more sacks at plus 300.
Ooh, that's plus 300?
Yeah.
That's kind of spicy.
I kind of like that one.
I kind of like that one. I didn't look. I meant to, but my daughter decided to stay up a lot later than she should have. Grand Salami. What's a Grand Salami? Combined total points on Super Wild Card Weekend? 288.5? How do you even tabulate that? Go back historically?
I guess maybe start with calculating the over-unders on for the week. You know what I mean? Start there and see where that's.
Will all starting quarterbacks
You said, sorry.
go for 200 yards? So go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you said it's Debo season.
It is.
Debo to have a rushing touchdown and a receiving touchdown at plus 700.
America, 700? Taking it. God damn, I love that country. Sometimes. Never mind. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, let's.
No. I was gonna start, and then no. Where's the hybrids?
The Chiefs to be the highest scoring team at plus 350.
Yeah, that's not too bad, man.
And that's the lowest odds too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Plus 350. But I mean, what are the Bengals out there?
500. They are tied with the Rams for the third highest. I guess the third shortest odds.
Right. So if you haven't figured it out, I really like the Bengals to come out and just go ham this weekend.
I think they should, but then like there's that part of me that's like, it's the Bengals.
Right. It's the Bengals.
Like I always feel like that they're like, because they beat KC, like they think they're KC now. Like they almost have like too much like swag, if you will. Like they're riding a little bit too high. And the Raiders are one of those teams like I don't believe in either. But they've been super Jekyll and Hyde. They started off the year 4-0 or something like that. They were on that pretty nice stretch. I mean, Derek Carr was leading the league in passing yards for a while there, and then they got into the middle of the season where they weren't playing well, and they've just been like up and down since then. Like that's one of those games where like I feel like it should be the Bengals, but like it wouldn't surprise me if the Raiders pull that one off either.
No, unfortunately.
What did you say Burrow was for the most passing yards?
700, I think.
Okay. He's the same thing on FanDuel.
Okay. Yeah, hey Kev. I can't find anything for Cam Akers.
He had on FanDuel 32.5 rushing yards, I think it was. I'll double check. I think he was at 32.5. And let me pull that up now. Yeah, Kev, because I looked at that one and I wanted to take it, but like I'm hoping a receiving prop comes out for him. 32.5 for Cam Akers, 58.5 for Sony Michel.
If that comes on DK, I'll check on BetMGM, but I would probably take those rushing yards there.
Yeah, I like Debo over 28.5 rushing yards. I'm glad we came back to this game as well. I also kind of like Kyle Juszczyk over 7.5 receiving yards.
Of course. I mean, it's the only fullback in the league who's actually. I mean, there's other fullbacks, like maybe, but do you know their name? No. Come on.
Derek Watt.
Dick Watt. Derek Watt. Yeah, Derek.
I think we see
the Watt brothers. No, I like that. I mean, I picked up Juszczyk in a best ball league just because every now and again he does something silly. So I mean, and yeah, so the Debo over 28, it's Debo season. So I mean, they manufacture touches for him every single game, which is what they should be doing. He had that, that couple weeks stretch where it was like, okay, what are they doing as far as like position wise? I don't get it. But with Mitchell back, they don't have to do that as much, but they're still creative with how they're using him. So the 28.5, I like him to pop some big plays off this game. So, and the good part is Kyle Shanahan knows what he's doing with his usage. So that's the fantastic part.
I can just like see the play in my head where it happens too, where it's like Debo coming on a jet sweep, they fake it to that side, Juszczyk rolls out, runs a wheel route going down the opposite side, just wide open. You know what I mean? Ends up getting 20 yards. Like, if I'm sure he doesn't have a receiving total prop, but like if it were like a 2.5, I would take the under. You know what I mean? Like I think it would just be like one catch for like 18 yards for Juszczyk. But I do kind of like it.
Yeah. No, I get you. So Debo will get a 28.5. He'll get a 26-yard rush that'll get stat corrected to a shuffle pass, and I'll hit my over for the longest reception. And then Thomas is going to be pissed.
All right, man. It was good getting back in the saddle with you. I missed this. It was nice.
Me too, man. Me too.
Nice to get back on the old horse.
Yeah, apologies to everybody. Schedule was bonkers, and I really, sorry I couldn't pop on more.
Yeah, it was a weird couple of weeks for me as well. It just didn't match up. And then you were away, I was away. But hey,
right,
it's all in the past.
It was the perfect storm of no props. So it's all good.
We're back
for the playoffs.
Yep. Be with you guys through the Super Bowl. Make sure you join the Discord. We'll be tossing more of our bets and more of our thoughts in there as well. Look at this. The old Prez coming through the $20 super hauler. Are we going to be on every week through the Super Bowl? Yes, sir, indeedy.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I am going away, so the show will I know. So the show will probably have to be Tuesday or so before, but all the props are generally out like 3 days before, or 3 days like after the matchup anyway for Super Bowl Sunday, just because how much betting goes in. So the props will be out long enough, and you know what? That means our show will be out there longer, and then we'll have stuff out on Twitter, so we will definitely have shows from here on out to the end of the season.
And it's always good for the Super Bowl betting too to like jump on that stuff early, because there will be massive swings in those lines, especially with how many people bet the Super Bowl and everything like that. So that'll be good to have that information out there for everybody early on as well.
Yeah, man, it was good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate all of you rocking with us. Make sure you join the Discord. We'll be talking about bets. I've been getting in a little NBA props as well. So we've been talking a little NBA over there too. So make sure you join it. Appreciate all you guys rocking with us. Good luck this week. Let us know if you have any questions. Let's get some money. Talk to you all soon. Goodbye. Woo!